how did you come to be involved with the film?
Sure. So I got a chance to work with Dan on many projects over many years, and always had such a great time developing fun moments on the projects he was developing, making previs, and exploring ideas and honing, all the cool possibilities of those projects. That kind of culminated in working on Prey. I worked with him on Prey for about 2 years, off and on, and developed several sequences. Uh, on that project and really kind of developed a shorthand of working together. We would write little sticky notes and put it on the whiteboard and do little doodles and be like, what if this, what if this, what if this, and what if this beat, then this beat, and this camera, and really develop a language. I kind of learned what Dan's aesthetic is, and just had a fantastic time. At the same time, we were developing our animation pipeline, and we were showing him all these cool tests and shorts that we were developing, and he just got really excited about it. And then we had the idea of making an animated Predator movie. He pitched it to the studio, and then he invited me to be a co-director with him, and that's how it came to be.
Awesome. Second question is talk about the differences between creating pre-vis animation as opposed to animation for a feature length film.
Sure. So working in previs, you get a chance to actually animate the story in a really rapid way. So in a way, you're doing the same thing you'd be doing for a final, but you're just doing it so quickly, so that you don't spend too much time allowing iteration, making iteration as king to really, hone that story and try out this possibility, that possibility, this possibility. And then when the like edit kind of coalesces, you're able to, pass that on to the future departments of that project in live action. When working in animation, we actually started in exactly the same way. But we were using Game Engine as the core of our pipeline. We prevised it, but this time we prevised everything, start to finish. We made the entire edit of the movie, and then we, honed that edit and iterated that edit until everyone, Dan, myself, the creatives and executives at 20th, everyone got a chance to weigh in. And then we all agreed, all right, this is what we want to make. We locked it, and then we moved into all the departments. So the difference then becomes carrying that artistry into each and every one of these departments. And so the kinds of notes I would give in previs in a rapid form, I got to kind of zoom in and be, giving additional, more nuanced notes. And I would paint over things and draw over things on a daily basis on everything you can imagine, from the lighting and the color script um, and the compositing, but also the animation performances, and getting feedback in that way, and making sure it was something that Dan was excited about as well, and presenting the things that I knew that was going to work for him, and he would share his feedback. So it was the difference really was the scope, and how many departments we carried that through, but it's rooted in the same process.
Awesome. And how does this film expand the Predator universe?
This film expands the Predator universe by showing different time periods, different predators, and each with their own personality, each with their own design and size and different weapons. And it really kind of shows that there's maybe different subspecies and that have, different scales and different abilities. But we go one step further because we also show some of their traditions, maybe some new traditions that fans haven't seen yet. And we show like little glimpses of the culture in a way that's really exciting, to expand upon and to bring that to the fans was really fulfilling.
Great. And lastly, how do you think this film would resonate with Predator fans? What can they look forward to?
I think this film will resonate because we have these characters that are so wildly different, and they lived hundreds of years apart from one another. But yet there is this through line of family and what does it mean to be family in a Viking era, but what does it mean to be family in Edo, Japan in the 1600s? What does it mean to be family in, during the draft of World War II, and how can you carry on the legacy of your father? And then how do those families affect you when you're thrust in front of these like alien wild settings? So the fact that we're able to build that theme and weave it into the story across multiple time periods, I think is really unique and fresh. And I think it's going to be really exciting. And I think that fans can look forward to finding out where do those threads weave together and how do they affect the characters in the finale of the film.
All right. Where did the original inspiration for the film come from?
So the film came from me trying to figure out, after Prey was a success, what could I possibly do next? And we certainly had opened the door for the Predator crashing into different time periods. But I didn't want to just fulfill that what if fantasy. I really wanted to give audiences even more than they were expecting. So that's where the idea of anthology came from. What if we told multiple stories, but making sure, like Prey, that those are stories that were very, very character and thematically oriented, super intense, crazy action sequences before the Predator even shows up. And then when he drops in, it amplifies things even more. Um, so that's really where the genesis of Predator Kill of Killers lies.
Great. How does the film expand the Predator universe?
Well, certainly it expands it chronologically, in that now we're seeing what the Predator was up to in all these different time periods. But also, it has some things in store for audiences that doesn't just um, extend what you know of predators. It actually widens it, and sheds light on what could have been happening throughout all the movies that you've even seen already.
And what are the challenges or benefits of telling a story with animation?
The funny thing about animation is that you would think that the possibilities would be endless because you're less bound by the practical world. But as my co-director Josh Wassung has said, um, you can make anything, but you have to build everything. So you still have to build every set, every item of wardrobe, and every actor. Nothing, no one is just cast and they're there, or a location exists and you can just shoot it. Everything must be constructed. So you still run up against limitations in time and budget, and it forces you to be creative just the same way that happens in live action. But on the flip side, you get to express yourself in a very different medium. I love that animation really puts art forward so that everything can be very noticeably beautiful and brutal at the same time.
And lastly, here, how do you think this film will resonate with Predator fans, and like what can they look forward to?
In my mind, this movie is like, if you like Predator, this is an IV drip straight into your veins of the most amount of Predator you can handle. It has an insane amount of violence and dismemberment. I feel like there's a Guinness situation potentially happening with the amount of decapitations that exist in this movie. But at the same time, um, I think the original Predator was actually quite character focused and really was about something, because the end of the movie, it does not end with all the big muscles and big guns winning. And Prey was also something very emotionally charged, and this movie is incredibly intense, as well as insanely violent.